Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, LarryWBrooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we have over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or Prime Real Estate Ric. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week. We're really excited about this week's episode. Let's take some time to get involved, reach out, like, subscribe, and share today's episode, man, because today's episode, you're going to receive so many enlightening tips on how to build your real estate practice and how to grow your entrepreneurial brand. First thing, I'd like to take some time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, a serial entrepreneur, and the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I'd like to introduce to the show, and I'd like to thank him for sitting there with us. I want to introduce the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. LarryWBrooks. How are you? Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week,
The King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, Larry W. Brooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we had over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
Good day. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm Ric Davis. I'm really excited to be here with you today. If you don't follow me on social media, please take some time to follow me on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. Because if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. I want to thank everyone in the audience for tuning in this week. We have a really exciting show planned for you all. I want to take some time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. He's also a serial entrepreneur. I want to thank him so much for sitting in and co-hosting with me this week. And I'd like to introduce to our audience, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks.
Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? Okay, now let me get this adjusted just a little bit there. There we go. We got a red light special for him today, huh, Rick?
Hey, look, man, it's a rarity. It's a great day. Anytime we can let the red lights illuminate and spotlight those proud members of our fraternity, man, it always does great things for us, does great things for the show, man, and it just shows how the unity of the bond is still alive and well, man. So you're right, brother. I'm always excited when it's the red light special. What's been going on this week with you, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, man? It's a busy week here in the city, and it's going to be a great weekend, man. So what's been going on with you?
Yeah, man, it's real estate buzz all over the place, man. We got a lot of exciting guests that are in town from other places that are visiting with us about our Houston, Texas real estate market, our abilities to do things that other cities aren't capable of doing. Everything from us having a non-zoning rule to just the ability to bring in people, get the right kind of foundation built out for them. But man, we are hot and rocking and rolling in real estate this week. I mean, when I tell you it's happy hours, there's networking events galore taking place every day, all day long. It's something going on. So we're gonna be tapped into a lot of those things ourselves. And just enjoying the market, man.
You know, man, it's the energy right now is something that if you're not here in Houston, if you don't have the privilege of practicing real estate in the state of Texas, man, sometimes if you watch the news, it can make you feel sort of like the market isn't moving forward and the market isn't continue to grow and thrive. But if you're here in this market, if you have be one of those lucky people to be able to practice real estate in the state of Texas, man. It's that season. You can just feel it, man. There are so many families looking to transition to the city, trying to transition to new homes. And it just does me great service to feel like I'm needed and wanted, and I can go out here and help these people to the best of my ability, man. So
yes, sir.
I hope everybody out there in the audience, man, it can get out, work with the public, be out, network. Because like you always say, Larry, man, the business is out there.
It's out there, no doubt about it, man. It's out there. Shout out to Arvo Realty, real estate advisors, commercial real estate brokers firm, the best in the state of Texas, man. So I'm excited. I'm going to be doing a lot of business with that organization. I'm a team member over there, so you'll be seeing more come. Me and Rick are going to have this exact sit down, just he and I, so I can give you the vision behind everything that's taking place.
Look, and while we giving shout outs, man, I want to give a huge shout out. He's Prime Real Estate Network alumni. He's one of the more talented mortgage brokers here in the city, man. Big, huge shout out to Mr. Yves Azude. We just had opportunity to partner, work with a client, man. We were able to get her closed, man. It was a seamless process. She was more than ecstatic with her purchase and also the loan terms. So big, huge shout out to Eve and everybody over there at his mortgage company, because I like for the audience to know that we truly do partner with Prime Real Estate Network alumni. Larry, let them know when we bring somebody on the show, man, this is people that we actually partner with and work with.
That's right. It's trust involved in it, man. No doubt about it. Yeah. Congratulations, man. That's what's up. Yes, indeed.
Hey, look, man. And, we at the part of the show, Larry, where we try to give you an opportunity to share with our audience a little bit about the background and some of the links that we go to get commitments of the talented professionals that sit in with us. Now, we spilled the beans a little bit when we shouted out the Red Light Special, but could you just enlighten our audience a little bit about the links that the Texas Real Estate King had to go to get our guest with us this week?
You know what? This guest we got coming on the week, man, is family. You know what I'm saying? We've been knowing him. He's been a part of what we've been having at least 25 plus years. And it was not difficult actually getting him on the platform after I was able to narrow him down, because of course he's in real estate as well. And like you say all the time, it is very difficult to get us narrowed down on a good Thursday for an opportunity to pick our brains, talk about our vision, and talk about how we built the things that we have. But this beautiful brother of the Mu Sigma chapter, baby, and I'll let you do the introduction, but I'm just saying, it's family. We've been getting down. We've been 10 toes deep forever, seems like it. So you go for it, man. I'm getting excited already just because we got him here on the show, man.
Hey, man, without any further ado, man, this fine gentleman is not only the owner and founder of Empowered Realty, but he is also a most esteemed member of the Mu Sigma chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I want to thank him much for sitting in with us, and I'd like to introduce Mr. David D.Shields. What's going on, brother?
D.Shields.
Yo, what's up with it, dude, baby? How you living, man? It's good to see you.
Oh man, blessed. Live here in Nashville, Tennessee. Home of the bluegrass and country music.
Hey man, look, first things first, man, I want to congratulate you, man, with everything as far as all the successes that you're enjoying in your family and personally, and all the growth with your real estate business and your real estate brand. So first thing first, D.Shields, please introduce our audience to Empowered Realty and let them know a little bit about your business practice and what you founded your company on.
Gotcha. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me on the show. You are pioneers. Before anybody was doing podcasts, y'all was already on it. And especially this particular niche. These are things that people need to hear, stories to help inspire them and help them along the way. So kudos to you two, man, for keeping this going. This is what success looks like.
Hey, appreciate that.
No, that's real. And for me, myself, it has been a long journey, as Larry mentioned, 20 plus years. Larry was probably the first person I reached out to when I got into real estate. So he's definitely been a mentor for me, somebody I look to and inspired me. Let me start back through my childhood. Growing up, people around me were mostly working 9-to-5 jobs. My mother and my father, my dad in particular, did have a side hustle. My dad worked on air conditioning units. So he's the guy that keep you cool.
Yeah.
And so I kind of watched him grow with that business, and still to this day, there's things that I can say my dad feels like he left some meat on the bones with certain things. So watching him and how he did things made me want to raise the level up a little bit and do a little bit more with my life. But again, my focus was, what can I get into to make the most money? And everyone around me is telling me, hey, go to college, find you a good job, and take care of your family. And so that's where my mindset was. Graduate high school, go off to college, and find a 9-to-5 job that I can work and support my family. Once I got off to college, things kind of shifted for me. God had a different plan. I met some brothers from Kappa Alpha Psi.
Okay, talk about that.
Kind of took me under their wing and introduced me to entrepreneurship. I never had an idea of like what a franchise was. I had never heard of a CEO. All these different labels and ideas that are things that you could do to make money. Once I got involved with Cap Alpha Psi and the people involved, that's where I got introduced to that. Even while we're on the campus, the two of you are doing things that are entrepreneurial that influenced me and made me want to think about things differently, a different path for myself. Back when we were actually reading newspapers, I'm scrolling through the newspaper one day and I see a seminar for real estate. This was a seminar they were having in Dallas with Champion Real Estate School.
Okay.
And I decided, hey, let me check this out.
Rita Santa Maria, the owner of Champion School of Real Estate, man, a really good friend of mine, man. I didn't want to pass over that. Really good lady.
Yeah.
Right.
When I went to the seminar, it made me feel like I had the background where I could do this. I've been working ever since I was 14 years old. I had different jobs that may have included service and selling. And so I thought, I'm gonna give this a shot. I go and take the real estate exam and I pass it. Everything goes good for me. Thank God I had, you guys there, LarryWBrooks there to kind of mentor me and give me some advice that lasted with me. And it was, fake it until you make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went out and I faked it until I made it, but my focus was in the wrong place. I wasn't looking to take care of the public, take care of the people. I was doing what I was told growing up was find yourself a job and go make some money. So I was looking at it from a standpoint of making money.
Mm-hmm.
Along that path, around, I would say 2008, we hit the subprime market.
That's right.
And things where they were going great for me start to kind of turn sour.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time I have my little girl who's, now 16 years old, just to show you my age. I start to feel like I need to do something different to support her and take care of my family. And so I keep the real estate license, but I get into the corporate environment. And this is where things begin to turn for me because I start to experience, although this supports my family, this isn't where my value is. I start doing things for the company that I was at to appease them, and I wasn't getting any results that I felt like I deserved. And on the side, I'm practicing real estate, and my clients love me. Everything that I was doing for my clients was working out for me. There was real value there, but I was afraid of not being able to support my family, and so I held on to the corporate job. Fast forward to a point where things began to we've left the subprime market. Real estate is starting to pick up again, and things are going well for me. And I have this family, I have this corporate job, and I have my business. There's a lot on my plate, and it begins to cause a strain, not just with me, but with my family.
Yeah.
And so I began to realize I need to take some things off my plate and focus on where the value is and what's most important. But that's scary because as a man, you do have to support the family. You are looked at to take care of them and provide and make sure we have everything we need. And I had to ask myself, what is it going to take for me to make a move? if I was flying through an airplane, what would make me feel comfortable with jumping out? You would need a parachute, right?
Right.
Yeah, the A1, no doubt about that.
You need a parachute, and I didn't realize I have a parachute. All I have to do is open it. Our mind is so important, and we don't realize how important our mind is, and what we can create with it. If we get stuck into negative thinking and not being optimistic, this becomes to be a problem for us. And I realized that if real estate was going to do what I wanted it to do, I need to change my thinking and be more positive, be more optimistic, and realize where my value is and what I provide to the people. So I let my parachute go. And once I did that, I began to soar. Things began to work out for me in the way I expected it. With the empowered, I realized that I'm doing things to help others change the projection of not just them, but for their family. I'm empowering others through my knowledge in real estate that I've acquired for over 20 years. I have network and resources that I'm providing them and empowering them with, so them and their families can experience wealth.
That's right.
I don't believe we're here to be poor and lack. We're supposed to be rich and wealthy.
That's right.
And it's up to us to tap into those resources that are around us and empower ourselves and allow others to empower us too. That's where I came up with the name for Empowered Real Estate. I also have a clothing line. I also have books. What transitioned me into that was, like I mentioned earlier, realizing where my mindset was. We're blessed. Every day we wake up, we're blessed to just get out of bed, to be healthy, to have devices that we can communicate on, like what we're doing here today.
That's right.
And someone sat back and thought of this and created it. It came from the mind.
Right.
I didn't realize, as I'm going through my situations in life, which we always do, I'm realizing that I'm looking for certain things to go a certain way, certain conditions to play out before I feel successful, before I feel happiness. And this is not any place you want to be as a father or a husband, even being an example to others. So I had to start practicing what thoughts are going through my head and make sure those thoughts are coming from a place of love and appreciation and gratitude.
Yep.
And as I start doing that, I begin to realize that the world is abundant. God has put so much here for us that we don't pay attention to. There's an abundance of food. There's an abundance of resources. There's an abundance that we don't pay attention to every day that I begin to tap into. And I realize that God's love is our inheritance.
Yep.
So as a child, as I'm growing up, striving to get as much money as I can and taking part in that race to be a millionaire, in my older age, I began to realize it's more about the love and the appreciation and sharing that love with others. And the more I can do that, the more I will receive, the more of what I'm looking for and desire in life will flow to me.
That's right.
If I focus on the love. That brought me to becoming a loveinaire.
Come on, man.
Tell
Look,
me
it's
more.
so
Yeah,
deep,
yeah.
man. Please. Because see, Dave, and see, Larry and I, we've known you for so long, but like we were saying off air, we haven't had a chance to sit down in this
Right.
type of setting with you and share best practices and pick each other's brains. So it's not like this isn't truly a enthralling conversation, because everything that you're talking about speaks to what Larry and I speak about on the show every week. That when you become a licensed real estate practitioner, you're really providing a civic service. It's a
Right.
duty in a way.
Mm-hmm.
What we've done is we've dedicated our professional lives to closing that generational wealth gap
Yeah.
that exists in this country in certain communities. And to your point, when you said there's abundance everywhere, no matter how many people hear your message, my message, Larry's message, there are still so many more underserved potential investors, homeowners, home sellers who need to hear that. So, Dave, for the new agents, the that you meet in and around networking, those that you're sharing the vision of empowered realty, how do you illustrate for new agents the value of being selfless and looking at yourself as an educator, as a financial mentor, and as somebody to inspire those to go on a path of generational wealth who might not have thought it was possible for them at a time?
Right. Well, I first want to say that I believe we're all creators and we're all creative. We all have different talents and different gifts. Real estate is not for everybody. There's a lot of people that tap in, but they tap out just as quick.
True.
The best piece of advice I could give is to figure out what are your talents and gifts. What are you good at? What is around you that you can utilize and help you get to where you are. And then once you figure those things out, do what you love.
That's right.
Don't do it just to get a check and race after money. Do what you love. It might not be real estate that's for you. It might be something else. And like I said, we all have talents and gifts. You just got to figure out what that is. And once you figured out what that is, there's avenues for everybody. But you got to stay with it and have faith.
That's right.
I'm always reminded of a story, and I hold on to this story because my name is David. The story of David and Goliath. And now that I said that, y'all can think of me as a giant slayer. But in the story of David and Goliath, we think of David as having so much courage to face a giant. But David was really just living in his purpose and who he was supposed to be. And at the foundation of that was love. When he went out to fight the giant, he wasn't going out to take down this giant. He was going to take his brother's food for lunch out of love to make sure they were good and making sure they were taken care of. And once he got there out of love, he said, "Hey, man, I got you. I could take care of y'all. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to live in fear. I slay lions and wolves all day long. This is nothing. I can do this. God is with me. God is taking care of me. God loves me. God is going to make sure I'm good and taken care of." And so we just got to remember that God is always looking out for us. The universe is always looking out for us. And don't get caught up in the money. Do it because you love it. If it's real estate, if it's music, if it's basketball, if it's whatever it may be, make sure you're doing it because you love it. Otherwise, you'll find yourself miserable because you're chasing after something that is not for you and you don't really want.
True. Dave, speak to the books that you've authored in the clothing line.
Yes.
The clothing line, like I said, it was realizing that there's so much love out here and focusing in on that and trying to help others focus in on that. With the books, the book What's Next was really a pivotal moment for me, and really me sharing what my transition, what I have been through, and what I come to realize. I grew up in church, so from a youth, I was always someone that was spiritual. The book helped me realize that it's bigger than going to church every day and listening to your pastor. There's a lot of internal work that we don't talk about, especially as men, especially men that are raising kids, that are husbands. We have to learn how to balance our internal energy. We have to learn to stay positive and optimistic as we go through things and not be influenced by things that aren't going the way we think they should go, or we feel disrespected. We feel like this should be this and this should be that. You should be doing this. We can't focus on those things. We got to focus on loving ourselves and loving others, and through that we become the best version of ourselves that we were meant to be. So through my books, and my writings, and through the clothing line, I want to inspire people to first love yourself. What does that look like? Especially, for us, people that look like us, we've been for so long torn down, victimized, told we were ugly, told that we need to look a certain way. And the more you're told that, the more you begin to internalize that, and not realize that this is not who God made us to be. Is not who we're programmed to be. The more we allow those things to affect us, the more we allow ourselves to be victimized, to doubt ourselves, sit in fear, we're functioning at a level where we can't move the way we were designed to move. We can't do the things that we were designed to be. So I hope through the books and the clothing line to help people realize that and help them focus on love and loving others. And like I said, if we can do that, man, we become more helpful and more useful to everyone else. We go crazy over these cell phones and the technology, but we got to realize we are God's original technology. We are greater than these cell phones. We are greater than anything that man can make, and we have to appreciate that.
That's right.
And know that there's something greater for us than what the world might be telling us. A lot of times, looking around this world, man, I don't feel like I belong. And I know that there's others out there that feel the same way. And I hope through Love and Air and the things that I create, that I will draw those people in to help them realize that, man, you're not alone. We have to just realize who we are and what God inspires us to be, and help influence others to be the best version of themselves.
That's right.
And it's going to start with love.
Yep.
Man, it's so, I want to thank you so much, because your transparency and your candor, especially in a business space, is something that you mentioned sometimes isn't spotlighted or highlighted enough. We always talk about lead generation, how time management, financial management, but I think some of these things you're talking about as far as balancing those internal voices, staying positive, staying motivated. Yes. I know that's a message that everyone in our audience could take and add to what it is that they're doing and help to build and grow. First thing I want to ask you, and this is something, Dave, that I want to make sure everyone in our audience has, as far as information on how to stay tapped in with you, how to follow the movement, how to support your lifestyle, your clothing brand. So just share all that information with our audience so that we can make sure everybody in the Prime Real Estate Network world can stay tapped in with Mr. David Shields.
Right. David D.Shields, that's my real estate website. You can find me there. All my contact information is there. any of the social media platforms. If you search David D.Shields, you'll definitely find me. TheLoveAndAir.com is where you can find my clothing line, my books. You can also find my books on Amazon. I'm not hard to find. You definitely, if you're looking for me, you definitely can find me. And I'm very open. Everything is there. My phone number. So I'm not hard to find, man. But like I said, the love what you're doing and love everyone that is around you. Love yourself. The more we can do that, it kind of tears down the division that we have in this world and brings us all together so that we could be useful to each other.
That's right.
That's perfect, man. I want to thank you so much, David, man, because
Shields.
it's been super. It's been a pleasure to interview you, man. It's the evolution of you as a businessman and an entrepreneur, how you've been able to diversify your streams of income is something that I'm inspired by, that inspires Larry and people in our audience, because that's our main message here at the Prime Real Estate Network, is that through real estate, through service, you can build a long and sustaining entrepreneurial brand that can generate generational wealth, not only for your family, but for everyone in the community that you have opportunity to interact with. So, Nuke, if you ever need anything, if you ever in the city, if you ever heading up any big networking events, man, you got a seat here with us. Let Larry and myself know, brother, because it's a pleasure and we'd love to sit down with you again.
Right. Man, thank y'all again for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Much
man,
love.
thanks for
Appreciate
coming
you,
through
dude.
for us, D.Shields.
Stay blessed, brother. Stay blessed. Talk to you soon. Bye, D. Peace. Come on, Larry. See, now, if I didn't know any better, I would think that you were a good influence on these young men, man, as we grew up and evolved
There you go.
throughout school and in the frat, man. Look, man, see, this is the thing that I hope everyone in the audience can gain from checking us out on a regular basis, is that we have always tried to be a positive vessel out here, man. One of the things that I always like to give you your flowers on is that you've always been really big on sharing.
Thank you, bro.
You've always been really big on networking and sharing those best practices. So I hope it helps you feel a little bit better about your entrepreneurial journey, to see that some of the young nukes that come up through the SFA, man, is still getting after it, man. They still hungry, still out here, man, and still making a real difference.
Man, I love it, man. Just think, man, we got books, clothing line, like just the vision that the young man has had in order to create something like that, man. So shout out to him, man. I'm definitely impressed. I'm definitely excited. I know, it's funny. We all sit in, we got our group meets that we in, but man, it's nothing like just hearing the voice of our brothers as they talk about, their journey, their successes, man. And it just excites me, man.
Hey, man, stuff like this, Larry, it just makes me think, man, maybe we need to just have a series where we just sit down with all of the brothers, man, catch up, see how they doing in business, man, because I think these stories of evolution and growth, man, is something that everybody in the audience could be better served by hearing, man. So
look, by all means, man, But it's one thing I told. It's funny. I had an opportunity, real quick, Rick, sitting down with my son, Trey. We went down to Stephen F. Austin. He had participated in a camp this past weekend, man. Amazing to me. Like this is the yard that I played on. This is where I sweated pills. You know what I'm saying? Like just to walk, to talk to the coaches with him, just to have him, be embraced, and just being there was just us talking about. I just talked about the legacy that we built while we were there, while we were on that campus, and I told him one of the things that life gives you when we make it to 46 is you get an opportunity to see what was going on at 18 and 19, if it made sense, if it didn't make sense, if you were doing the right things or if someone was doing the wrong things. Like life's journey gives you an opportunity to see how things played out. And so just the growth of the campus, the change of the campus, where people are and where people are, like the people that we've lost, that, just those things, just having a conversation with him about those monuments and stuff like that while being on that campus, man. And just having D.Shields on today, man, just like it just reemphasizes the vision, the business mindset that even like D.Shields had when he was on the yard. So it's not a surprise to see him doing so well because coming through, like that's what we was on, man. We was building a business back then, right? Like it's crazy.
It's crazy because, like you say, it's a surreal moment to hear that your son is up there camping in SFA, getting that purple in, getting that Nacogdoches, East Texas in his life, man. And it's funny because if those walls could talk, if that ground could speak, oh my goodness, he'll have a whole game in 5 minutes. So
come on, man. He was on my field. He was on the field that we built, man. He was walking on the track that we built, man. Come on, man. You can't make this up.
Big huge shout out to LB3, man. Big huge shout out to everybody at SFA, man. The legacy building is real. On behalf of myself, Ric Davis, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, man. We hope everybody out there in the real estate community has a highly successful and busy weekend. Until next week, man, everybody out there represent, be safe, and be blessed. See y'all soon.
No doubt.
Hit that joint.